In March 2024, the two heavyweights, American Express Global Business Travel and CWT, announced a merger. This $570 million deal was expected to close by the end of the year, reshaping the entire corporate travel industry. Well, as of late summer 2025, we're still not there. For over a year, the deal has faced intense scrutiny from regulators and competitors alike. However, after the last roadblock from the U.S. Department of Justice was removed, things are finally looking up. Companies plan to finalize the deal in Q3. Let's take a closer look at this high-stakes merger and discuss how it will impact the industry, the companies involved, and the businesses that rely on them. The corporate travel market is a massive, almost $1.5 trillion industry. Want a detailed image of how it all works? Check out our expert overviews. While it's often seen as a game dominated by a few big players, around 60% of the market is actually unmanaged. This means that this part of business travel is not overseen by TMCs or other B2B intermediaries. Basically, it's businesses that handle their own travel arrangements. In the small and mid-sized business segment, worth over $900 billion, this unmanaged piece is even larger. We can roughly estimate that this managed corporate travel segment is around $600 billion. Now let's take a look at where the top league players stand. Amex GBT is a nearly $3 billion company with over $30 billion in gross bookings and close to $2.5 billion in revenue. The company's history is packed with innovation and strategic acquisitions, which helped it become the largest TMC on the market today. Then there's Netherlands-based BCD Travel. It's Amex GBT's nearest competitor. With operations in 170 countries, it reported almost $23 billion in gross bookings. CWT, the third biggest, is the oldest of the trio. Its history dates back to 1872, though at that time, the company made a name by adding sleeping cars to trains. Ever heard of the Orient Express? It was Wagon Litz that operated that famous train service. In the 20th century, it shifted its focus, evolving into the biggest European business travel company. Today, after a series of mergers, CWT is based in the US, but operates in 139 countries. It serves 4,000 customers, has a total transaction value of around $14 billion, and its revenues are estimated at around $850 million. So, as you can see, the three leaders collectively operate around 11% of the managed market. The rest of it's spread among smaller TMCs, OTAs, and tech providers. Such fragmentation creates a highly competitive environment where each player fights for a bigger slice of the pie. So how come the two arch rivals decided to join forces? For Amex GBT, acquiring CWT is all about expanding its global footprint and strengthening its service offerings. CWT brings with it a strong position in the European market, as well as a solid base of SME customers and a presence in industry sectors that Amex GBT has been eager to tap into. Besides, CWT has a strong reputation in meetings and events management, so by merging, they're combining the best of both worlds. Amex GBT's innovation and scale with CWT's heritage, diverse customer base, and expertise in specialized services. Paul Abbott, Amex GBT's CEO, bringing CWT onto the proven Amex GBT software and services model will create more choice for customers, more opportunities for people, and more value for shareholders. For CWT, the merger provides the opportunity to scale up even further. With the backing of Amex GBT, CWT will be able to leverage more resources and access new technologies, including Amex GBT's platforms Neo, Neo1, and Egencia. All that is expected to improve efficiency, enhance customer experiences, and capture more of the growing demand for corporate travel services. especially in emerging markets. CWT's CEO, Patrick Anderson, joining forces with Amex GBT helps accelerate our vision of a tech-enabled future for business travel, where people and technology combine to deliver an exceptional customer experience. We are highly confident in the value creation of the combined company. But what does this mean for the industry? Well, opinions are split. On one hand, the deal could boost innovations and result in economies of scale. Other players would be forced to combine forces, develop their technologies, and improve service offerings to keep up with the competition. Corey Garner, a former American Airlines executive, it is too difficult to narrow the market's definition to only the global legacy TMCs. The corporate travel management market has seen new entry from next-gen TMCs like Navan, Amtrav, TravelPerk, Spotnana, and others, and it is under new pressure from airline distribution strategies to attract corporate travelers to their own website. On the other hand, this merger is most likely to create a dominant player on the market. The combined gross bookings volume of $44 billion would happily surpass BCD, the nearest rival, and leave smaller brands far behind. Won't such consolidation be a threat to healthy competition? Morgan Lene, a travel technology M&A specialist. The acquisition will put increasing pressure on the likes of TravelPerk and Navan, both of which will have to fight even harder to get that level of scale that a giant like Amex GBT CWT is about to become. Actually, many of the parties involved have concerns about the consequences, and that's why the agreement isn't finalized yet. As with any deal of this magnitude, regulatory bodies are keeping a close eye on things. To seal the deal, the mega merger between Amex GBT and CWT needs approval from 3 key markets: the European Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States. So far, the European Commission hasn't raised any red flags. The UK's Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, however, wasn't as quick to jump on board. They had concerns that the merger could lead to a monopoly, higher prices, less innovation, and fewer choices for businesses. So, they launched an investigation to dig into all of the details. After 9 months of digging in the weeds, they've come up with a 100-page report. Don't worry, no need to slog through all that paperwork. The result was positive. CMA has approved the deal. With this one out of the way, the U.S. Department of Justice was the last barrier to overcome. And sure enough, in January 2025, it also filed a lawsuit to block the merger. DOJ's stance was basically the same. Market competition is at risk, and all the parties involved would suffer from the deal. And it's not only other TMCs and clients. DOJ argued that the transaction would potentially allow Amex GBT to charge travel suppliers over $100 million more in commissions and fees. A hefty sum, right? Besides, having such a dominant position might not be very motivating for Amex GBT to further learn, adapt, and improve, like they do now when they have to fight for customers. The legal battles were fierce. The merger's timeline has been delayed by a year, and the deal cost has dropped by $30 million. However, both companies remain optimistic that they'll clear all the hurdles. Eric J. Bach, Amex GBT's Chief Legal Officer and Global Head of M&A. We are pleased to have reached an amended agreement with CWT and look forward to completing the transaction that will provide even more value and choice to customers and suppliers, and more opportunities for CWT employees. We remain confident in the merits of our position in the lawsuit initiated by the DOJ and remain prepared to prove this in court, if required. One of their key arguments was that their combined share of less than 10% is just too small to pose a serious threat. The corporate travel market still has plenty of room for consolidation and growth. The industry experts agreed on that, expecting the antitrust lawsuit to be settled soon. And they were right. After 6 months of investigation, the DOJ has finally dismissed the case, clearing the way forward. So it seems like, despite all the challenges, the mega merger will happen after all. However, the question of CWT's brand identity is still open. There are two ways this could play out. 1. CWT's brand could merge with Amex GBT. This might mean the CWT brand is phased out completely. That's what happened after Delta merged with Northwest Airlines. The latter was fully absorbed and ceased to exist. Or alternatively, CWT's brand could stay. In this case, the brand might keep its identity as a separate entity. That's how Starwood Hotels still operate under the Marriott umbrella, or Agoda, as a subsidiary of Booking Holdings, still has its own brand identity. As of now, these details haven't been made public, but one thing is for sure, the Amex GBT and CWT merger is a game changer for the corporate travel industry, and all eyes are on how it plays out. How will they balance innovation with customer satisfaction? Will the merger benefit or harm the industry? We could be on the brink of a new era in business travel, so let's watch how it unfolds together. If you're curious about how Amex GBT has evolved over the years to become an industry leader, be sure to check out their story. Stay tuned for more updates on our channel and don't forget to subscribe.